When you face off with the like button, use the wolf. Shout out to Braden S for finding the very obscurely hidden stone in the last video. Be the first to find it today and timestamp its location without editing your comment if you want a shout out in the next one. Below the darkness of space, Legic extends his sword towards Mato's head. The situation doesn't appear to be a mere training session. The still standing warrior coughs out, "This is the end, Mato." While appearing beaten and tired, our Saiyan hero fares slightly worse. But how did we end up here? A few hours ago, the trio silently waited on the giant blocks of this world. Mato eventually questions his companion on what he thinks Legic's doing. It's more than a little strange that he's been standing in that same spot for almost a full day now. Flashing back to the most recent morning, he tells the Saiyan there will be no training today. Though, he needs to make sure to get a good rest. And that was their last interaction. When something suddenly gets Mato's attention. Blasting every single block in his path, Legic has created a plane as smooth as a salt flat. Our protagonists balk at the sudden outburst, before he calls out to the pair, signaling for them to come over. Doing so without hesitation, he informs Mato his final training is about to begin, who finds that qualifying word a bit surprising. Though his mentor explains no further, merely instructing Base to stand in that exact spot and to not move, no matter what happens. Just as apprehensive, he agrees nonetheless. "Mato, follow me." The duo leap from the imposing rock formation, each tapping down before falling to silence once more. Legic turns, reiterating his previous statement. This will be Mato's final test, a one-on-one match with him once more. But this time, to the death. Drawing his sword, he has no interest in waiting to begin. Wait! Legic! Seeing the dagger make contact and hearing his friend cry out in pain, Base rushes to aid his longtime ally. Though Legic rumbles, he not move, freezing him back in place. With a furious demeanor never before exhibited, the warrior growls if he removes himself from that rock, he will kill him. Again, the swift personality change stuns our heroes, genuinely not knowing how to react. The elder decides to bluntly explain his reasoning, chiding what Mato lacks is his inner instinct to kill his opponent. His heart is too soft for battle. He is also very naive. But both his combat strength and potential are amazing. Neither of those mean anything if he can't commit to victory. And he has no hope in killing Frieza if he can't kill him. Mato argues even if that is true, he infers killing his mentor and killing his enemy are not the same thing. But his retort goes unentertained. Instead, he asks the boy if he remembers the dream he told him about, the one only the Saiyan here can make happen. Legic reveals a secret he's kept hidden from his student this entire time. He too fought Frieza long ago, something completely news to Mato. The former assumed Turles would have certainly mentioned it at some point. Regardless, in order to release them from Frieza's army, he fought alongside of the wayward Saiyan. Of course, the power of the Frost Demon was rumored throughout nearly the entirety of the universe. His massive legion of soldiers wouldn't simply be following an average warrior. This caught Legic's interest. One day, his pride got the better of him as he decided to pick a fight against the Emperor, ever the arrogant one. He had always believed himself to be the most powerful warrior in existence. While he had close battles, he always came out on top, but even those were becoming more and more sparse. But this was the day he would finally be humbled of that attitude, and rather quickly. Frieza's strength was bottomless, a true monster worthy of his reputation. In a split second, everything he had heard about the Emperor was clear. His status, his loyal forces. There could simply be no other way. In this life, there is always someone better than you. He found himself terrified in the tyrant's wake, nearly trembling in fear for the first time in any battle. He cursed himself for being so foolish and weak, for their respective power wasn't even comparable. Fortunately, he was able to escape, which is a story in itself. But ever since then, he's looked at himself as nothing more than a miserable failure. Without the means of fighting back, he's been hiding on this planet ever since, living a sad, meaningless life, completely derived from genuine purpose. But then Mato arrived, with hopes of seeking revenge on the one who also took something from him. Fate had literally walked through his front door. Legic is aware he may have lost to Frieza, but he also knows the monster's strength now. Armed with that knowledge, he desires to train the one who has the potential to finally put an end to the Frost Demon. And himself. That is his dream. Looking towards his student with a smile, the Saiyan once more doesn't have the words to say. His fist begins to shake. The fact is, Mato has been thinking about what he should do since the very moments Legic even mentioned he too had a dream. And while he might not like it, their goals align. And he can't allow his journey to end here. This won't be all for nothing. And if this is what it takes to avenge his mother. The Saiyan retakes his stance, ready to continue. Base not at all liking their decision. With few words left to exchange, Legic simply thanks his student. Unsheathing a second sword, their intentions are clear. The pair will face off one final time, but in this instance, only one walks away. The stare down reaching its apex. Something appears to be off about Mato, almost as if something is blinding him. Realizing the severity, Base explains he must really want to kill Mato after all, hoping it was a bluff until now. Who we turn our attention back to? His previous gesture not a one-time instance. His head seems to be in a lot of pain. He even states as much aloud. It's almost as if his head suddenly cut off. Legic taunts to know what's wrong, insulting he shouldn't be that wounded yet. And if he won't attack, they both disappeared. Plunging our hero into the ground with such force it created a giant crater. Legic himself can't help but grow concerned, knowing full well Mato shouldn't be this weak. Blasting out of the dirt, the Saiyan regains his breath, his head now throbbing in pain. Something isn't right. Deep in space, Amon of the Crusher Corps alerts they will be arriving on Earth before long. Turles states they should send someone in advance to assure the soil is fertile enough for them to plant the Divine Essence Tree, also known as the Tree of Might. When a thought enters the head of Dais, respectfully, he asks why he gave Mato that fruit a while back. Smirking, the leader claims that at the time, it just kind of felt like the right thing to do on a whim. However, it will certainly have some lasting effects on the kid. Back with Turles, he explains to his underling, due to the fruit, Mato will experience energy spasms, just like they themselves once did. But since they continuously eat from the tree, they stave off this bothersome effect. Dais inquires further about these energy spasms. Turles details that since the fruit was originally created to be eaten by the gods of destruction, if a mere mortal were to consume it only once, well, let's just say it wouldn't end in a preferred manner for them. But that's exactly what the boy needs right now, calling this the liberation of the spirit. Legic scoffs he doesn't know what happened to his student, but he isn't somebody who can hold back. This is the end! No! What? Catching his mentor's hand, an ominous key envelops Mato, powering up as his eyes turn completely white. We now see what Turles was referring to. What is this transformation? Finding himself completely outmatched, Legic figures this must be Mato's Saiyan essence, finally realizing itself, bringing a smile to his face. Not at all deterred by his student's mysterious transformation. Is this all part of the training? Or is the warrior truly seeking to fall in combat?